Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only Mr. Todd Baldwin. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, something that came up in our first video when we were talking about cash is trash is you are making what I would consider crazy money weekly, monthly, yearly. But I want to step back from that. I want to talk to the person out there who's making a couple of grand a month and really help them understand, you know what, you could double, triple that. And a lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is understanding what you're worth. Maybe it's skilling up in certain areas. Maybe it's thinking bigger. I don't know. But if you were going to be in a room full of people making minimum wage, 1,000 people making minimum wage or thereabouts, what would kind of be your message to them to double, triple, or quadruple their income?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, it sounds controversial. I don't think it should be controversial. I think it's common knowledge, but people might get offended by it. So if I'm talking to a group of people, they're all making minimum wage, they probably want the minimum wage to be raised higher.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. Yep.
Yes. My counter to that would be go equip yourself with a set of skills that the market is willing to pay for. And namely, what that means is solving problems and the understanding that you're not paid based on how hard you work. You're not even paid really for your time. You're based on the perceived value that you bring to the marketplace. So if you can go solve, a $100,000 problem, I would bet anyone is willing to pay you 10 grand, probably even more than that. If I have a $100,000 problem and you can solve that for me, even if it takes you only 4 hours, but their net result is I either gain 100,000 or I save 100,000, I'm giving you 10 grand, no problem, no sweat.
No problem. Yeah.
Because my relationship with you, that interaction made me $90,000 richer. If I'm giving you 10, I'll do that any day of the week. Right.
Agreed.
And so that's what I basically have done is I've said, what problems can I solve? How can I develop myself to be able to be good at solving those problems? And then how do I scale it up so I can solve them on a massive level? So recently, and this is Business Insider did a story on it. Recently, I had, and I won't give too much info away because I don't want to give his identity out, but I solved a $1 million problem. That's what I did. I solved a $1 million problem. It took me 47 hours. I was paid $100,000 for my time to solve $1 million problem. Again, this person is 900 grand richer for knowing me, right? So he's totally happy doing that. And for me, I made 100 grand in 1 week. It was awesome. And I have another one coming up where Michael Zuber, you're not even gonna believe it. I'm probably gonna make $400,000 in exchange for 6 hours of work. Yes.
Well, that doesn't suck.
Yeah. Now my million in cash doesn't even seem like a lot, does it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're back to Grant Cardone making money. Yeah, I get it now. Show off. I like it. But this is what I want to tell people, right? I've been that minimum wage worker, right? A lot of my life was just selling hours. If you go to work and you really think your job is selling hours, like the boss is buying, 60 minutes of my life for 15 or 750 or whatever the minimum wage is where you are, that is absolutely the wrong mindset. I don't care if you're working at fast food or a retail establishment or an office or whatever. I think if you just change your mindset a little bit, your income's going to explode. And what I mean by that is it doesn't matter what you're doing, there's an owner of that thing, whatever that thing is. And that owner is in the business of doing whatever it is, making sandwiches, selling clothes, I don't know, whatever. I want you to think like the owner. What could you do to help them make more money, to your point, or save significant money? It shouldn't be, I'm going to give you 60 minutes of my life and I'm going to be on my phone for 35 minutes and I'll just sit on my ass. And I will if a customer comes in, I will give them world-class service. But other than that, I'm going to sit on my ass and look at my phone. You're going to make minimum wage your whole time. But if you sat there and you're like, hey, we got a lot of people coming from this direction. Our sign aims the other way. Why don't I, count the number of cars or whatever it is. I mean, if you bring value in your organization, I promise you, you will not make minimum wage. The other thing I want to tell you is I've always had a saying, and it's crude, but I'm not a hunter, but this is what I always told myself is I want to eat what I kill. That's sales talk for if I sell it, I get paid. That's the world. I was on a commission at 15 years old. I live in that world. I hustle because I only want to rely on myself. Everybody else disappoints, right? That's just how I operated. And if you want to make an ungodly amount of money, get a commission-based job. I've had commission-based jobs that are full commission, no salary. I've had commission-based jobs that are 60-40, 80-20. Go get it. Bet on yourself. And then lastly, my most valuable course, and this is coming from a college graduate with a master's degree, was a course at my junior college. Cost me like $20 to take, public speaking. There are certain skills that pay. I've made millions of dollars because of public speaking, that one class. So what do you think of all that?
I think you're absolutely right. You know, I dropped out of college, and the person that I asked advice on before leaving college was my public speaking professor. And she's an advanced public speaking coach. And it was honestly the only class I gave a crap about in college. And she was the only one in academia who encouraged me to drop out of school. She was like, if you have something you want to go after, then you should do it. And I did. And that decision paid off really well.
That's awesome.
I echo you completely on commission sales. I'm a sales guy myself. If you're on the side of revenue, you're going to be making money. And that's what that really means, right? When you're in sales, it means you're bringing money in. And all I have ever done is I've either been in sales or I've ran my own businesses. And those are the ways you make money, folks, is you either own the company or you're at least on the side of revenue where you're bringing money in. That means you have all the stress. And that means if it doesn't go right and you're not producing, well, then you don't get a paycheck. Is it just what Michael Zuber said? You eat what you kill. That's said on the sales floor every day.
All the time,
right?
every day. Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. We understand that.
Yeah.
And then the last, oh, sorry, did I cut you off?
No, go ahead. Just keep going.
The last thing I'll say is I think people are trained to be poor, middle class, or wealthy. I think they're trained. And here's what I mean by that. So regardless of how much money you have in the bank, we talked about mindset. If you have a poor mindset, you believe that the purpose of money is to pay bills and buy stuff. If you have a middle class mindset, you believe that the purpose of money is to acquire liabilities. Oh, I want a nicer car. I want a bigger box to live in, right? I want to go take this trip because I worked really hard and I earned it. If you have a rich mindset, you believe that the purpose of money, the sole purpose of money, is to turn it into more money. That's what it is, right? And so you have a rich mindset. I have a rich mindset. Dion, the lumberjack, all of these guys, right? We all have rich mindsets. And so not that we don't want to acquire fun stuff, but our principal doesn't do it. Our cash flow does.
Exactly.
Right? We turn money into more money, and that money turns into more money, and then we buy the cool shit. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, they come later. Yes, you buy the dream cars, you get season tickets to your favorite sports team after you've made all this stuff. So this is amazing stuff. Todd, do me a favor. Where can people find you?
Yes, on Instagram, I'm at Todd J. Baldwin.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks again.